On this episode of Ask Wholesale, we have special guest Collin.
What's up?
And we also got Juan.
How's it going, guys?
All right, welcome everyone. This is the Ask Wholesale show. We appreciate everyone that's been watching and following us on all of these episodes. And today's a special episode because we have Collin Corrington here with us with Stop Flipping.
Not a wholesaler.
Not a wholesaler.
Not a wholesaler.
But he's bought deals from wholesalers, so he can give us a little insight.
I've wholesaled a few, I'll be honest. Yeah, we've wholesaled some houses here and there.
There you go. So who are you? What is Stop Flipping?
Stop Flipping is it's our education course. It's an education philosophy that to teach people how to do owner financing. That's what we do, is we teach people how to do owner financing. It's kind of a little bit of an unknown niche when it comes to real estate investing, and it's extremely profitable. And once I got involved with it, with my partners Eric and Mike, I'm actually a teacher. That was what I started my adult life as, was a teacher. And once I learned about owner financing, I was like, oh, this is how real estate should be done. So I just went out and my job's to take owner financing to the masses. That's what I do.
That's awesome. If a lot of people have heard about flipping, a lot of people have heard about renting, but owner financing is an awesome strategy, which is kind of the best of both worlds and can be very lucrative if you do it the right way. And they show you how to do it, so definitely check them out.
I thought that was a really deep question you asked there, Marco. So who are you, really?
Well, I left it open-ended for him.
Either you're really deep or he's in the wrong place.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, you're diving into a shallow pool here, man. We're
getting warmed up. We'll see where we end up. But
funny.
All right, let's get into some of the questions.
Yeah, so we got some questions asked to us by Facebook Live videos and whatnot, and we chose 3 of them. The first question is, what is the best marketing in today's market? I'll let one of you guys.
I'll start, and then y'all can jump in.
All right.
For me, what I always tell people is the best marketing is the one that you focus on. So you can go all kinds of different routes. You can do bandit signs. You can do some cold calling. We do a lot of cold calling. You can do driving for dollars, those type of things. But focusing on one and being kind of mastering it in a sense, so that you can generate the leads and working the leads properly is what you want to do. You don't want to be the person that, I wrote 20 signs and then I kind of haphazardly put them out, and now I'm doing driving for dollars and now I'm doing this. You won't get the consistency that you're looking for. And so that's that. I personally really like cold calling. That's my personality type. I really like to have conversations with people. So I like to get them on the phone, and if I feel I can get somebody on the phone, then I can win them over in some capacity, at least to push them forward into the next conversation. So that would be my answer.
That was incredibly wise. I really like that answer, because he's right. I mean, it's whatever you decide to focus on. Everybody tries to get real new, and it's always good to explore new ways to market, but you do want to stay consistent. We're the same way. We like the good old-fashioned. We don't honestly go out looking for wholesales all day, every day, but we do find some. But when it comes to selling our properties, yeah, I mean, we're bandit signs. We have a team of 6 salespeople, and that's what we teach them every day. You got to put out at least 10 bandit signs. You got to do at least so many driving for dollars. You got to do it every single day. So you got to stay consistent. You got to pick one. You just got to make sure you get it done. But yeah, that was a great answer.
Yeah,
I agree.
I have to. Here I am sounding like an echo. So I have to agree, because
I won't go first next time.
It's really, yeah, right. It's really, yeah. You just gave the best answer.
But truth is truth. You know what I mean? Truth is truth.
It really is just what you focus on. You bring that whatever marketing it is that you like. My personal favorite. Marco says he likes cold calling. I do cold calling, and I have done that, and I've grown accustomed to cold calling on the daily. But really, my favorite is bandit signs and other wholesalers, like using other wholesalers, piggybacking off of their deals. To be honest with you, I can't stand cold calling. I get it done because that's what ends up giving me my paydays, right? but I don't like cold calling. It's not my favorite. My favorite is bandit signs and other wholesalers.
You don't like
because
when they yell at you and hang up on you and all
I don't
that?
mind getting yelled at. I have a girlfriend, remember?
Okay.
No, it's just I
And a
don't.
lot of ex-girlfriends. So
Yeah, and a lot of
Explain
ex-girlfriends.
the yelling,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
gotcha.
So, but thanks for making me look like Don Juan over here. So, but yeah, it's just whatever you focus on. That's where all your energy is going to go to. That's where the energy is going to come back from. If you're focusing on bandit signs, that's the best way to do it. If you're focusing on mailers, that's the best way to do it. They're all really good. This is, when you first start out, you ask a lot. Oh, what's the best way to do this? What's the best way to market? What's the best way to handle this kind of seller? And in reality, it's all just, there is no really best way. It's just wherever you put your energy is where you're going to thrive, and that's pretty much the best.
Yeah, just
answer
staying
that you can
consistent
do.
with it.
I actually
being
really
consistent.
love one of y'all's marketing techniques in your video course that you teach, which is after you have the house and then you're trying to sell the house to find a buyer for it, doing the 10-10-20 marketing technique. I thought that's solid.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
interesting.
10-10-20. So 10-10-20 marketing for those of y'all that don't have
So
the course.
you're
And
getting a
if
little
you need
tidbit
it,
here.
stopflipping.com. Yeah, 10-10 marketing is good old fashioned. You got to realize that if you're trying to market directly to the people, you're missing out on so much. It's kind of a network marketing thing. So what we do is we'll make a flyer or a postcard or something like that, and the 10 houses on either side. So if this is our house, the 10 houses to the left, right of it, or your left, the 10 houses the other side of it, and then the 20 houses across the street, because they may have kids or grandpa or somebody that they know that wants to live in that neighborhood. And so what you're doing is you're just utilizing the people that are around you to kind of help you network market this versus just straight up, having to go try and do it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, from a wholesaler standpoint, you could totally do that. If you close on a property with a buyer and now they're going to start rehabbing it, go talk to all those neighbors and say, hey, we just sold this house over here. You're going to see a lot of traction. We're going to improve it, make it beautiful again, get a good family in that house. By the way, if y'all are looking to sell your house, come talk to me. So that's an awesome
Or if
strategy.
you know of anybody that's trying to sell their house.
Exactly.
Always ask that one question, that one further deep, so you can get that referral.
So we dropped some golden nuggets right there. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I hope everybody's taking notes right now. So, okay, cool. So the next question: what are the important points buyers look at when assessing a wholesale deal?
I would love to hear this.
What, as me as a
Yeah,
buyer?
yeah.
So we're buying, by the way, if you are a wholesaler, like DM me, email me at the crew if you're in San Antonio specifically.
Slide into his DM.
Yeah, because
Don't forget.
we gotta. We're on a mission. We got a lot of properties left to buy. So
They're a big buyer.
yeah,
Yeah.
big buyers. We got a lot of properties left to buy. So what are we looking at? It depends on the deal. Now, obviously, we're stop flipping. We do a lot of owner finance deals, but we do flip some houses from time to time. I think it's important to always have multiple exit strategies. Don't pigeonhole yourself, but definitely stick with what you're good at. If you stumble across a deal that you really like, but it doesn't fit your model, you just need to know the rest of it. But what we particularly look for is we have very specific numbers. So the first thing I would say is try to be as honest as you possibly can with your comps, because we're going to go back and check them anyway. Like I have
The
so
good
many
ones are going to.
Yeah, the good ones are going to check
And
them
those
anyway.
are the people that are going
Those
to
are
be
the ones that-
repeat buyers.
Exactly.
And
Thanks for
so yeah, that's
stole
a
that
big
from
thing.
you.
So we always get the packet and all the information and all these comps. And if I the first time I might let it slide. The second, third time you're sending me these things with these exaggerated comps, I can't. You're going to the bottom of the list because I can't spend my time running comps if I know I can't trust. But you know what I mean? If I feel like they're a little
Or
inflated.
you'll just start getting that reputation as a wholesaler, the guy or the girl that the numbers are never right, the deals are never good deals, so they'll just ignore your deals every time. You never want to be in that pool.
Right, so that's a big one for it. I mean, and that goes for all the numbers that y'all present. So like if you're rehabbing, if you've got a rehab estimate in there, if that's part of what you do, then make sure that rehab estimate is pretty solid. And if I always feel like, and I get it, wholesalers are going to overprice the comps, they're going to undersell the rehab and try and show you as big as price you can. And then the last thing is be
They're
willing
going to
to
hope that you
don't do our homework. Yeah.
You're a little slower in your homework that day.
Exactly. So we're going to do our homework. At least I am. And all the people that I know,
Right.
and Mike, Eric, my partners, we're all going to do our homework, and we're going to go make sure that house. We're going to want to see it. We would love to take your word for it. Maybe once we have the relationship pretty deep, but even then, it's like we still got to go look at it because, as you know, if you trip up once, you're going to end up losing a lot of money on a deal. So you got to make sure you stay you got to do your due diligence. Another thing is we understand the wholesaling business, and we like y'all making money. We do. We get it. You've got to eat too. But try and be little conservative with that, because sometimes I'm like, I know you probably picked that house up for $10,000. You're trying to sell it to me for $55,000. It's like, you give me a little bit to work with here. It's like, I'm like, I don't mind you making money, but to what point? Because my numbers have to make sense. And
that's another point for reputation again. On deals where there's plenty of meat on the bone, hey, maybe that's a scenario in which you can make a bigger fee. But don't be that person that's trying to, pay 3 months worth of mortgage payments in this deal. I got to make it happen. You don't want to be developing this reputation where your fees are always astronomical and you're always pushing the high end. You got to make it profitable for the investor, the buyer too, and have them make money so that they repeat, and buy more deals, have that long-term relationship.
Now, on the flip side, if there is enough room in there for everybody to make a decent amount of money, still make your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like don't don't force a $30,000 fee, but if you happen to be able to make 10 or 15, like go ahead and do it. But like there's got to be enough room in there. Don't force the ARV to be 250 when it's really 200. You know what I mean? Don't force the rehab to be 35 when it's really 42. Don't force those. If it happens and you're able to negotiate it and you're able to get the right rehab, some are home run deals. Some deals are just knockouts. You know what I mean? But yeah, just don't force that. So when you assess it, you really want to. I think back to the question is what you want to do is you want to make sure like he said. Check your comps, make sure your comps are correct. Don't just, if you're picking up a deal from another wholesaler and you're helping co-wholesale the deal, make sure you double check those comps. Don't just, trust but always verify. It's one of my favorite sayings.
Have your own numbers. Don't use another wholesaler's numbers.
Yeah, and if you can, maybe we've developed a rehab sheet. It's not exactly on point the way a contractor would look at it, but it's broken down enough to where we can say, hey, if we think, we'll be conservative enough to where, we'll say, okay, the rehab's 45. We've already done all the math and all this stuff, square footage and all that stuff, and we've sectioned out all the things that you need to rehab. It comes out to $45,000, but we know that contractor might come in at 46, 47. So we know we're about on point. So when you're assessing that, make sure your numbers are on point. Make sure that the rehab is right, and you just want to make sure that you're not. You also want to. This is kind of weird, but you also don't want to, as a wholesaler, blast out a property that's kind of been shopped around for the past year and a half. I made that mistake when I was first starting. I don't know if you remember Stratford, but everybody told me, "Hey, yeah, I saw that one for like $20,000 cheaper 2 years ago, and it still didn't work then." And so that's what I look at when I'm assessing a deal. So.
Yeah, and if I can give one more piece of advice out there is if you have a big player, I know the game in wholesaling is find your properties, get your buyer list, and then blast out the emails. There's some big players out there that are buying high volumes. Like we did 114 or 116 houses last year. Try and get with those people and learn what they're looking for. Hey, because we've got a very specific mathematical formula that we follow pretty much every time, and that's our numbers. And if the house fits into that, then great. If it doesn't, we move it or we possibly flip it. So in that way, when you have those specific deals, you may not have to hit your entire list. You can just go to your one big player and say, hey, look, I got this one. It fits your model. Take a look at it. And you might be able to save yourself a lot of time and energy.
And that's huge, too, because right now in the last decade, the market has been going in one direction. But there'll be times where there's going to be a crash or there might be a downturn in the market, and those new investors and those investors that pay the higher price points because they're not as savvy or experienced are going to go away or diminish. And it's the big players that are buying in volume, that are buying all the time, that are going to be around, and they're going to be primed and ready to gobble up as many properties as they can. So you want to make sure you have those relationships firmly established so that if anything changes with the market, you have strong buyers that you can go to regardless. So that's a great point. And the last thing I'll mention on this question is when you're presenting these deals to your buyers, you want to make it as frictionless as possible. So, every buyer, like Collin was talking about, he's going to run his own numbers. He's going to take a look at the property himself. Talk to these buyers and find out what's all the information that they need to make a proper assessment of the property, and try and provide all of that. go take as many photos as you can, and take photos of like the electrical panels and the AC units and the AC unit inside and the condenser unit outside. Try and do a video walkthrough of the property. Include a rehab bid sheet. Include your actual comps, not just a number, but the comps you ran in the information packet. The more information you give to the buyer so that they can do their assessment quicker and more streamlined will help them be able to decide whether or not they want to look at it, and will increase your chance of trying to sell the deal to them. Because quite honestly, investors like Collin over here have limited time. They're getting bombarded with deals and deals, and if you make it simpler and easier for them to spend less of their valuable time on that deal to be able to properly assess it, then you have a higher probability of being able to move the deal to them.
Yeah, I was in sales for a long time. I was a national sales trainer. The yeses don't hurt people, the nos don't hurt people, it's the maybes. And the maybes slow everybody down. So when you're coming through it, he's exactly right. Give it to me and give it to me straight. And for the love of God, use lighting. Like, get a light on your camera, because I get so many houses that these pictures on my computer, they're just dark, and you can tell, I think that's a sink, and you get over there and you're like, oh, it's a dead body. That's cool.
Oh, okay,
you know what I mean?
cool.
I'm like, you just be if it's crap,
Does a
it's
dead
crap.
body usually come with the house? Or?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, but my point being is, like, guys, if it's crap, it's okay. Some of us aren't scared of crap. If it's trashed, fine. Just take accurate pictures. That way I know before I walk out there, because that is, sorry. It just drives
So
me.
take a flashlight with you while you're
Take
taking
a
these
flash.
photos.
Get
Put the
whatever this
flash on
thing
your
is.
phone,
Here,
yeah.
give me that box, Kirk. Whatever this thing is. Yeah, like, get one of these.
Here
This
you
thing,
go.
I can't hardly see that way because of this thing. And what did this
But
cost?
you can
40, 50
definitely
bucks?
see us.
Yeah, I know, right? What does this thing cost?
What does this cost?
30 bucks? 30 bucks for
$30.
one of these, guys. Put it on your phone and walk around so we can actually see what you're taking pictures of. Don't send, that one drives me insane. I get all these pictures. I can't tell what I'm looking at.
There's one more point I want to make on that. What's an important point? That's pretty funny, man. An important point that I've been looking at over the past year, and I learned my lesson the hard way, is sellability. Just because the numbers work doesn't mean that it's going to be easy to sell. So you have to think, if you're a wholesaler, you have to think, okay, if I was buying this for myself, how hard or how easy would it be for me to fix it? If you're going to fix and flip it, if it's a flip, okay, if I'm going to fix and flip it, how hard is it going to be, or how easy is it going to be for me to sell it on the back end to make my money back? Because that's what it is. It's an investment. Got to make my money back, got to make my profit, all that stuff. Just because the numbers are there doesn't necessarily mean that the house is going to sell easily. So, for example, I was looking at a house last year. This was last year. It was a small house. It was like a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. And they were selling it for $29,000, right? I did the numbers and everything. ARV was like 115, needed about 45 in work. So the numbers were perfect, right? The numbers were there. But then I went to go look at it, and I looked around, and even though the numbers were there because of the neighborhood was starting to come up. The street itself almost looked like an alley, and then the houses next to it were kind of ugly. Well, they were really ugly, and there was some of my friends hanging out on the corner drinking beer. They weren't my friends, but they were. I probably would have joined them.
They became your
Yeah,
friends.
they became my friends after they.
After I was
"You
done
want a beer?"
working.
After I was done working, you want a beer? No, I'm just kidding. But no, they were hanging out on the corner, drinking 40s and stuff like that. And I'm like, nobody's gonna want to live here. You know what I mean? Like, not at that price point. So the sellability is big, because you have to look at it like, if I were to buy this, if you're a wholesaler and you think, if I were to buy this, would I be able to sell it? Am I going to make my money back? What am I going to be picky about? Am I going to be picky about the foundation? Don't just be like, well, just buy it. You have money. You know what I mean? Like, just what am I going to be picky about? And that's a big point that you need to include, is just not just, the numbers work, but if the numbers work, that's great. But are you going to be able to sell it on the back end as an investor? Because if he sees that, yeah, I can totally owner finance this house and use my exit strategy for it, and it's just going to be super easy, you're going to sell it quick. But if you're trying to force him to see your numbers and force him to see the potential in it, and he's already been doing this and he doesn't see the potential in it, it's just going to be harder to sell. So just make sure that there's sellability about the properties. I mean, like he said, they're not. There's a lot of people that aren't afraid of junk. You know what I mean? They see the potential in it. That's why we're investors. We see the potential. We see what we can do with it. But if it's not there, don't force it just because the numbers work. Look at the sellability of the house or the deal itself. So
That's a great point. I figure that might be what gets a lot of wholesalers out of the business too. You end up stuck with all these houses you can't move. Don't be afraid to walk away from a deal yourself. I walk away from them a lot. Sorry,
not a
can't do
deal.
it.
It's not a deal unless it makes sense. So.
That question hit home right there.
Yeah, I learned
That
that
was
one.
a good
I learned that one the hard way. I was like, "What? I don't get it. The numbers make sense." Yeah, but it's kind of a POS. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
That was a good one. I felt like that.
Yeah.
We changed some lives. You're welcome.
yeah,
That's
Let's
right.
get there. Yeah.
We even got some light and everything in
I
there.
know, right?
I'm telling you, that's Amazon
promoting
special.
newer
30
lighting,
bucks.
whatever that is. Yeah, whatever
It's
brand
not
that is.
hard. Watch this. Go back and look through some of y'all's binders. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about.
We're gonna see some posts of people with them now.
Yep.
I just put flash on my Snapchat and put the filters. No.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
This looks better in sepia tone.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, yeah. Look at that. Oh,
This
that's
one
good.
looks better in black and white.
But one of the cabinets has like a mustache and like a hat and stuff.
It says downtown San Antonio at the bottom. But okay, cool. So the next question is our third question. This one's actually coming from Facebook, from Mr. Tyrone Haynes. Tyrone,
We got you.
shout out.
Haynes.
We're gonna answer this for you, and you're gonna enjoy the answers. So, your question was, how can I get some help for me to do my first deal, starting with no money? I can actually take that one because I
Go,
actually
man.
started with no
Rock
money.
it.
Just bug Marco like for 30 hours a day. No, I'm just kidding.
The people will do that.
Yeah, no.
That's all right. You can reach out. It's all good.
So yeah, so if you're starting with no money, and I'm assuming if you don't have money and you're starting without money, that means that you have never done a deal and you're kind of starting out. You're still learning. You can you've already read some books. It's like I always say, just reach out to somebody who's already doing it. I reached out to Marco, and reach out to somebody who's willing to teach you, and maybe they might even have some deals that, hey, you've already built a buyer's list and you just don't have any inventory, and they might have something that you can help them move. But what I would do is a great way to start is, and I've mentioned this before, is piggybacking. Just find another wholesaler or find somebody who's got some inventory and kind of knows the business, knows what they're doing, and is already actively doing it. And then just ask if they're willing to teach you. Ask them for advice. Maybe steal some of their inventory. Take some of it, not steal it, but like don't snake deals. That's not what I meant. Don't snake deals. But just say, hey, what do you got going on, and then see if you can help them.
Juan
move it.
annoyed me at the beginning. He was like, "Hey man, what do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? How can I help? What do I gotta do?"
Dude,
I was
it's
like,
so
Yeah.
funny.
"Go do this, I guess. Leave me alone, man. Leave me alone."
Okay, but when I do that, then what?
But no, it's funny you say that because actually, if I can, this is probably a longer answer than you want, but I've got Eric Sangerhausen, one of my partners. There's me, Eric, and Mike. Eric Sangerhausen and I actually, we actually went to high school together. And we ran in different circles. We didn't really hang out, you know what I mean? But we knew each other. We're from Seguin, Texas. It's not that big of a town. But
you were cooler than he was.
no, I think he was probably.
Oh, really?
I'll got to be honest. But I kept my hair.
I don't believe you. Not even a little bit. No,
No,
I'm just kidding.
But we just ran in different circles. It was just kind of a different thing. And so anyway, fast forward 15 years after high school, Eric and I were actually living about 3 miles apart from each other and had no clue.
Oh, wow.
Out in a little town called McQueenie, Texas. And the funny thing is one day I went to go buy some tacos in this little strip center taco joint, and you go in there and I see this card, Alien Realty, Roz buys houses, and it was like a gimmick to wholesale. You're just always looking for houses, right? And I see Eric Sangerhausen. I mean, how many Eric Sangerhausens do you know, right? I pick it
That's
up,
true.
and this was about the time where I was like, I want to get involved in real estate, and same thing. Like I call him, and dude, he blew me off. It was great. He's like, yeah, well, I'm busy, and I click. And my wife was like, what happened? I was like, nothing happened at all.
Nothing at all.
But,
Excuse me while I go cry.
But that's when this book came out. About a year or two later, he came out with this book. And when I saw the book, I was like, that's it. He's going to talk to me. He's going to be my friend whether he likes it or not. And
That's tenacity. There you go.
dude, and you got to stay with it. But with that being said, to your point, is you got to definitely reach out, but you need to bring something to the table as well. Sometimes it's just flat out hustle. What can I do for you? How can I? That's how Eric and I started. I was like, Eric, can I just get in the car? Just can I sit in the car with you and I'll hold your lunchbox and feed you as we go. Just like you got to bring
your
something. Yeah, right. Ooh, you're investing hard. Let me cut you off.
You're investing hard.
Look at keep going.
Look at you investing super. Somebody wipe the
Keep
sweat.
going.
Yeah.
No, but just get in the car to learn, right? And so it started off where maybe what I was bringing to the table was just some company,
Right.
And this goes on for a long time. And the next thing you know, hey, I need some help with this. Can you do this? Bring something to the table. And then how do you get started with no money? Start following somebody. I got to be honest right now, Eric has never given me a dime to do a single deal ever. He's given me a lot of information to do deals. One of the things is if you go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/stopflipping, we got a whole bit that's about to come out. Hopefully it'll be out, probably not by the time this airs, but how to find a $50 house. Like we literally shot an entire thing because we're tired of hearing people saying that. So we figured out how to do it with $50, and it's a wholesale deal. We're just doing a contract assignment under a 20-day option. It's pretty simple, straightforward. But a lot of people don't know how to do that. But I didn't either until I talked to Eric. Right, so he gave me the ideas for that, guys. You can borrow money from people. You can do, if your credit's good, you can do hard money loans. There's a myriad of ways to get started with this, but probably your best thing, to your point, is to hitch your wagon to a star that's already doing this. Pay attention as much as you can, because if you do get some private money, or if you do use your own money, or you do a hard money loan and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose it and then some. Yeah. So make sure you find somebody, pay attention to what they're doing, and be helpful. Find a way to help. You know what? I'll put your bandit signs out for you. How do you do it? Where do I put bandit signs, right? And go do bandit signs nonstop.
That's huge. You basically have to do an assessment of what you can bring to the table, and maybe you don't have money, but you have the time. And maybe you don't have the experience, but maybe you have that time. So what are the things that they don't want to do? Like you were mentioning, maybe you can put out signs for somebody else. Bird dogging is a wonderful way to kind of partner for somebody,
Yep.
and it's a way to learn the business so that you can eventually start doing your own deals, those type of things. And if you really want it, just dive into it. Learn as much as you can. Go get this book. Go to the websites. Go to YouTube. Learn how to do these things and then take the action. And eventually, you'll fail your way into success and get some momentum. And once you get that one deal, things will start happening.
It's a great line. You got to fail forward, right? You're gonna screw your first one up. And if you don't even know how to wholesale, we got it in this book. You can get it for free. Just pay the shipping and handling. We'll have a link at the bottom of it. We do have a little chapter in wholesaling to get started because we get that question a lot. Guys, you can do this, no money. I'm tired of all the gurus that are like, you can do this, no money down, and they all tell you the exact same thing.
But give me your money first.
But give me your money first. I'm going to tell you right now, go wholesale a house. There you go. Get this book right here. Pay shipping and handling and have it for free.
Yeah, that's big, guys. The two of the main things that both of these guys touched on was he talked about paying attention. When you latch on somebody, pay attention and take the information and learn the information. And something that Marco touched on was take action. A lot of people, one of the phrases I can't stand is knowledge is power. And I can't stand that because knowledge isn't power. You could be the smartest person in the world, but if you're not doing anything with it, you're not doing anything with it. It's simple. Like you're just having applied knowledge is power. There you go.
Juan Bustos says, applied knowledge is power.
Yeah, Confucius could take a lesson from me, huh?
No, but Michael Scott.
Yeah, you might see that in your fortune
cookie. Last time I got a fortune cookie, it didn't have a fortune.
At
all whatsoever.
What is that saying to you, man?
That was a
super
super unfortunate
I was in
situation.
Austin the other day and I got one that said, "You will die tomorrow."
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was like the greatest one ever because I always feel like it's some parable or some crap, and I'm like, I want a fortune. Like you're gonna, and it was like, "You will die tomorrow," and I loved it. I laughed.
That's
got it in the
hilarious.
house. Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
That's
Did you take a photo of that?
Yeah, I've got it somewhere.
Yeah,
the fortune cookie
That's
lied to me.
hilarious.
I mean, I'm still here.
Robin always makes the
Hi,
same
Karma.
joke. Every time she opens up a fortune cookie, on the back it says, "How about another fortune?" Like where you can go and get more fortune cookies. And she's like, "How about another fortune?" I was like, "Yes, you've been saying that for 7 years." It's still funny though. But you gotta apply that knowledge. You gotta apply that and when you bring value to somebody who is already doing it, and you're saying, "Hey, I can help you out with this, or I can help you out with that," and I'll tell you what, if you walk me through this deal, I'll break you off I'll break you off a piece of the deal, and we'll split it or whatever it is. But it's super easy. I came here to San Antonio a few years ago, and I had no money. I had some clothes, and that's it. That's all I had.
And they were pretty raggedy.
Yeah, they were pretty raggedy, dude. They were bad. I hadn't bought myself clothes in like years, but even my nice clothes was pretty raggedy. Like, But you know, I came here and I started with no money, and I had nothing. I really had nothing going for me. But I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the dive, and I did little things to stay afloat. You know, I donated. I went to garage sales and sold some of that stuff. I had little odd jobs here and there, little sales gigs here and there, and just to stay afloat until my first deal popped, and then my second deal popped, and my third deal popped, and then I just kept going and kept going and kept going, and now there's really no turning back, which I'm totally okay with. So.
Yeah.
Now we can't get rid of them.
Yeah,
yeah,
I know. You couldn't fire me if you tried. I'll be waiting outside the window looking through. What's Aaron working on?
That's hilarious. I liked it. That was pretty solid.
Yeah, so Tyrone, there's your answer, man.
There
You
you
can
go.
totally do this without money. Don't worry about it. Just
Send us a photo of
take
your
the
first
action.
deal, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
go find the house. Take a picture in front of it. Get moving.
And if you need any help, reach out to us. If you need any help, you're not sure what to do, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Cool. So let's end the episode with a fun question.
This
so what's
is
a fun
this is my
question?
favorite part of the episode, the fun
Yeah,
question.
He gets excited for this.
Yeah, I love the fun question. It's always interesting. It's always you get to learn a little bit more about who's on the show. I really enjoyed the last one we had about our teachers and stuff. So, actually, I don't know if you saw that. I tagged one of the teachers I was speaking about on the last question, and she was like super enthused, and she messaged me on Facebook. She's like, "Hey, I really like that. Thanks. I didn't know I influenced you that much." And
Oh, really?
to be
That's
honest, I didn't
awesome.
really like you that much. No, I'm just kidding. She said it was. She said she enjoyed it. She enjoyed
We
watching
talked
the
about
episode.
our favorite teachers on
Yeah.
2 episodes
Oh,
back. or
man,
so.
I could do that for hours.
And I tagged mine.
Well, you're a teacher.
I used
Yeah.
yeah.
You're like, my
I
favorite
used to
teacher is
be.
me.
Yeah.
What did you teach?
I was a band director.
You were a band
really?
director.
I was a middle school band
Okay.
director, yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome.
5 years.
What was the
that's
instrument
crazy.
you played?
My principal was trombone, but my degree was in all things low brass, so trombone, baritone, tuba. But the weird thing is the only instrument I've ever been televised playing was a bari sax. So I can play just about anything. But yeah, so it's kind of weird. Like, yeah, and yeah.
Interesting. That's not even close on like fingerings or anything.
No, once you kind of get the hang of it, I mean, it's a pretty transferable. I mean, I'm not particularly good at oboe or anything like
Yeah.
that, but I mean, I can play it.
Play the electric triangle.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the fun question is, what's your favorite scary movie?
My favorite or the one that scared me the most? Because the
Let's-
one that scared me the most, I
Let's
gotta
do
tell
the
you,
scared the most.
Yeah,
dude,
the one that scared you the most.
The one that flat out scared the shit out of me. I don't know if I can go on this, but God, it terrified me. I'm gonna get goosebumps just thinking about it. Was Signs.
Signs,
of all
really?
things.
Signs.
Yeah, and I think the reason why, like, I've had a lot of
I
time.
liked that movie.
That movie's
That was a
been,
good
what is
movie.
it, 15 years old probably by now?
Yeah.
Like, I have watched the secrets and the behind the scenes and all this stuff to try and
Yeah.
get over it, and I'm still not over it because, yeah, that movie scared the crap out of me. I will never forget, seriously, I grew up in Seguin, Texas.
Yeah.
And my buddy wanted to come into San Antonio, so for those of y'all that don't know, it's probably about a 45-minute drive to get into San Antonio, but it's all country, cow pasture, nothing between. And so we came here and we watched like the 11 o'clock showing, and we watched this movie. And I spent a lot of time with my grandparents who lived out in a ranch out in the middle of nowhere. And look at this, I'm seriously getting goosebumps talking about this right now. Like, the fact that it was an alien doesn't bother me. I don't care. The alien doesn't scare me, but it was that crap where and they were like running through the cornfield because there was cornfields everywhere. And I'm like, I saw that exact same thing when I was 9. I know what he's talking about. So like all this like regressive, like just all this pin-up thing, I was freaking.
It all makes sense.
But I was sitting here. I was in college, I think, at the time, and my buddy Lon came with me. He's like, "You got to see this movie. It's great." I'm sitting in there just like white knuckle on the thing, freaking out.
Wow.
They show it's an alien. Aliens don't scare me. Once I saw the alien, but all that stuff that leads up to it freaked me
Yeah.
out. And I'll never forget. So we had to drive back home. I rode with him. I got my truck, and I parked somewhere, and it was like a dark parking lot. And I remember I got in the truck, and somebody had bumped my rear view mirror, my side view mirror, and all I could see was behind me. Like not behind the car, but like behind me to the right. So as I'm driving home, I had to drive through fields, like cornfields, like legit cornfields, and all I can see is the corn behind me. And as I'm looking over, like look at this, I'm getting
Yeah.
like next thing you know, I'm going 120 miles an hour through a
Like,
cornfield.
get me outta
I'm
here.
like, it's chasing me. I got back to the house. I forgot my key. I had to break into the window, and
This
like
was not a good day for
no,
you.
it was summer. It was summertime, and because I'm from Seguin, I went to college in Seguin, so I was crashing at my parents' house again. This is a true story. I go to get back in the house and I forgot my key. And you do not ring the doorbell and wake my mother up at midnight. Like like there's nothing. Like I don't care. Let the aliens eat me. I'm fine. like do not wake my mother up.
I'll just go with you guys.
So I'm just like I'll go.
I'll just go with the aliens.
Yeah, you don't have to like knock me out or anything. I'll just get on. But no. So I went to get in the house and there was a shrub in front of my room. So I had to like go around the shrub. And I mean, there's like this much room. And I'm like looking. I jump in through the window. The shrub caught my shoe.
You're like, it's an alien.
I screamed like
Let go of me. Let go of me.
I'm 20 whatever. I scream like a 5-year-old girl. I flip around. I slam the door shut. There's like branches and all this stuff coming in. All of a sudden the hall light turns on. And I'm like, what? And I'm literally laying on the ground, cold sweat, leaves everywhere. And my mom opens the door. Are you okay? And I was like fight or flight. Like I thought it was, she had a robe on the whole thing. And I'm like, I thought I was going to die. Yeah, so signs scared the absolute crap out of me.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm serious to this
That
day.
was one you should have watched DVD at home.
But here's what's so funny.
With all the lights
like
on.
I still, for some reason, it's not the alien part. Like it's stupid. I can sting and spray you with the thing. Nobody cares. But it like the unknown in the cornfield. Like I've watched, like I said, the remakes and the behind the scenes and all that stuff, and still that first half of that movie scares the crap out of me. I don't know why.
I remember I saw that movie in the theaters, and I remember the scene where they're like in the basement or something, and then you see like the hands there in the shot, and then they talk or whatever, and then they go back to her, and then the hand like grabs her. And I remember in the theater, everyone was like, "Oh my god!" Everyone was like losing their shit, and that made me laugh so much.
I'm freaked. Like I literally have goosebumps.
Really
Do you
into
see
alien
this?
movies, like
It's not the
scary
alien. It
movies,
wasn't
like-
the alien. It was the
how they did
it was
it.
the
Suspense,
speaking
the
up.
suspense
Yeah, that the
creeping up,
suspense did.
okay.
I mean.
So it was well written, is what it was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, M. Night Shyamalan. I feel like all his movies are very anticlimactic. They're scary up until they reveal what it is.
Yeah.
Ooh, the trees are killing you. Or, ooh, it's an alien. Remember that one?
Yeah, I
but up to
remember.
it,
I
you're
was
like,
like,
why are these people jumping
The
off buildings?
trees? Yeah, I know exactly what movie
I
you're
don't
talking
remember
about.
what movie that was, but like the first half of the movie's great.
The
and
Happening.
Then he
The
revealed-
Happening.
That was.
Yeah, I saw that and I was tripped out. I was like, so is the tree? I don't get it.
But when the tree, like, okay, fine, and then
Okay,
like,
so the
because
trees.
the stupid part about that, why that was, I think that one was anti-combat because there's nothing you could do about it.
at
Yeah.
all.
The tree's just
whatsoever,
going to
yeah.
kill you.
Yeah, you're
Game
I
dead.
guess
over.
move to the desert. I don't
Game
know.
over.
Go to the ocean.
What about you, Marco?
Honestly, when it comes to scary movies, I'm not a big fan of scary movies because I'm always like, oh, that wasn't scary or whatever. But when I was younger, the movie that scared me a lot was Gremlins. Gremlins, man. I was
No
like,
water after midnight.
Yes,
Right?
I was like freaked out with Gremlins. I was like, man, I can't watch that anymore. Or I would like fast forward through different parts when I was younger. Gremlins, man. I was like, don't. What was it? It was food, right? No
Don't
food
feed
after.
it.
Don't do it. No.
But when can you start feeding them? I remember even
Oh,
when I was
that's
like,
true, that's true.
like,
Every
just like
day
is it
is-
midnight
every-
to 7 a.m.? So
Yeah.
like, what's after midnight?
Yeah, don't
That's
feed them
true.
after. It's a loophole.
Yeah, and it's a loophole.
It's a-
But I remember even
it's
as
a
a
plot
kid,
hole,
because
plot
I
hole.
guess we're about the same age. Like, I remember thinking, but when can they start? Like, when's breakfast? Maybe I'm just a fat kid. I'm like, I need breakfast. Like, I don't mind cutting out.
you were too logical. You were like,
I
wait a
was too
second.
logical, though.
What are all the rules again? Repeat it one more
Yeah,
time.
Just let me write this down.
But Child's Play back in the day, that one when I was a
yeah?
kid, that one freaked me out. That was a good one.
what was it about the Gremlins that scared you the most?
I don't
Was
know.
it
was
the girl
just-
one?
The girl one.
Do you don't remember
Oh.
the female gremlin?
Was
Yeah.
that the first one?
Looked
Like
like Froggy?
cross-dressing Yoda looking thing?
I
Yeah.
can't remember. See, I didn't really watch it consistently to remember everything because I was like.
It's a cult classic, man.
Yeah, it is.
Now I watched it when as you get older, and you're like, what was I afraid of? There's like nothing going on. I mean, and like. And you can totally tell, like, how fake they are when you look at the 80s and 70s films, and it was just like poof of hair and like nothingness, and that freaked you out. But when I was young, man, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I never
Start
saw that
eyeballing
movie as a
Sharpays
super.
all
Yeah,
weird.
right.
Like,
I know, right? Like, I never saw that movie as a scary movie.
Well, what kind of movie is it? Isn't it
I mean,
a scary
it's
movie?
supposed to be a scary. I
Yeah.
just didn't see. I saw it more comical than anything.
Well, that's my problem with scary movies now. Is like I'm like, first off, I get annoyed with like all the dumb decisions that are like constantly throughout scary movies. That just annoys the hell out of me. But then I just find it more funny than scary. Like I laugh at.
Yeah, you're
Like-
pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Temperament. I could see you just being like.
You're probably thinking about like slasher movies where they're like, oh, did you hear that noise in
all
the
of
woods?
them.
Sounds like somebody's being murdered. Let's
go check it
out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Come on, Billy.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring your wheelchair.
I
You look like
I
you'll be
recently
slow.
saw a movie called Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and it's just making fun of all those dumb teenage kids that don't know what they're doing. They end up like throughout the entire movie, Tucker and Dale. They're supposed to be the teenage kids are viewing them as the bad guys, as the murderers, but they're not. All these kids are accidentally killing themselves. They never actually kill anybody. They just accidentally kill themselves, and they come off as creepy because they're like hillbillies in the woods or whatever, right? So it's kind of like The Hills Have Eyes or something like that. But I watched a lot of scary movies. I'm really into scary movies.
That's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Which one?
Scary movie genre?
Yeah, it is my favorite. Yeah, so I like all different kinds of scary movies. My favorite type of scary movie is supernatural horror. I don't like slasher. I do like slasher films and all that stuff, but supernatural horror. So the ones that scared me the most were movies like it's actually a tie. Between,
you got a tie.
I've got a top 3 and
top
it's
3 tie.
Oh, so it's
This is an aficionado.
It's Insidious, the Insidious.
Are we gonna have
movies.
to break out a whiteboard here?
Yeah. Okay. So Insidious because
You
of this
notice it
plot,
got a Rotten Tomato meter,
right? Yeah, exactly. But the Insidious movies scared the crap out
I
of
don't
me.
think I've seen one.
I don't
Those
think
are
so
super
either.
scary because they actually don't touch on ghosts. They actually touch on out of body experiences and being able to travel into other realities, as you know, yourself, your spirit, or whatever.
Gotcha, yeah.
So it touches on something different than most scary movies. Then The Conjuring, because that's actually based on those are actually based on a true story. Like the
Wait, which
Conjuring,
one was that?
Isn't that
The
the one
one-
where
The
she hangs
Japanese
herself
house
or
or
something?
Ed and Lorraine Warren. Yeah.
Was it the Japanese house?
No, that's The Grudge.
No, that's
Oh yeah, the Grudge.
The Conjuring is about Ed and Lorraine Warren. They're ghost hunters. They're demonologists or whatever you want to call them. They've
call 'em
they've
idiots.
helped out with a
Talk
lot of
about a profession.
exorcisms and things like that. So it's based on true accounts, right?
Wasn't it like the house was like back in the 1800s? The woman like hung herself in the
Yeah,
back or
exactly.
something.
Like
She was
the
a mom
DVD
and she,
covers,
killed
like-
her kids
I'm not
or
a
something.
supernatural guy, but like,
I'm into that stuff. Like,
get out. Okay.
okay,
I'm
bye.
out of here.
Gotta go.
Like, I'm
Bye.
not gonna sit there and go like banging a pot and pan looking.
Yeah, and then between those two and this movie that came out, it was straight to Netflix. It was called Grave Encounters.
Grave
Encounters.
Grave Encounters.
So what it was
I'm
was it
batting
was
zero on this.
what it was a documentary. It was footage of this guy who had a ghost hunting show way before Ghost Hunters and all those shows supposedly. And this guy was like way ahead of his time when it came to those shows, and he was recording. And then they got the
So is
footage.
this part real that you're discussing, or is
It's
it?
there's no. I mean, it's supposed to be fake, but there's no.
Sure.
There's no. They don't say special effects or anything like that at the end. No credits or nothing. It's just supposedly just raw footage of this guy filming a ghost hunting show, and then it turns out to end up like they get the footage and it's a bunch of crazy stuff that starts happening throughout the night. Like they're there for they're like, man, we've been here for 48 hours. How have we been here for 2-3 days already? And we're supposed to get let out at dawn and the sun never comes up. And they're in this haunted asylum and it's super. It's not on Netflix anymore, but it scared the
too
living
many
daylights
people.
out of me. Like,
Scared
it's,
too many people.
yeah, it really did because the guy in the beginning was just like, yeah, this is all just raw footage. It's only been edited for time purposes, but there's nothing. And then at the end,
I
there's
think that
no
would get under my skin a little bit.
there's no like special effects makeup or producer or anything. It just ends and that's it.
Oh,
And
no
that's
credits?
it. No credits, no nothing. They just leave
interesting.
it like this is just raw footage. Here, watch like the Blair Witch Project. but
Oh yeah, that would okay. Yeah,
yeah.
that kind of freaked me out.
So I was like,
That's a good way to
well,
end
what? You know what I mean? Like, what happened? So I started Googling it, and then there was a Grave Encounters 2 where they did a sequel, a follow-up, like, hey, is this, I
you
followed
just
this guy
ruined
who
my whole
tried-
weekend because now because I haven't seen any of these movies. My
Well,
wife's
great-
gonna hate you, by the
Well, now
way.
you got homework.
Yeah, right? No, well, Grave Encounters, I can't find it anymore. You might have to, like, look online. Like, you might have to really look for it, because it's not on Netflix anymore.
Yeah, not that
but
any
it
of
was-
us have the Kodi app or anything.
Yeah, what? No? But yeah, those are the 3 movies that scared me because they were more supernatural. They weren't like slasher film, like Freddy and Jason and all them. They don't scare me. It's just like
So
okay,
now
well.
I'm curious about what your favorite scary movie is.
Yeah, let us
Yeah.
know.
Or
definitely.
slash which scary movie scared you the most. That would be another good story.
Yeah,
that
which
would
one
be-
really got under your skin? That's what I want to know. Like, what really got under your skin?
And why?
And why?
Inbox us. Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hey, that was awesome episode. I think we rocked it. I think we spent the most time on the scary movies, but
Yeah.
that
But
was
that's
Dude, that's
important.
my
Come
favorite.
on, man.
That
That
was-
is important.
Yeah,
That
it gets
was-
You
into
need to know
the
who we're
psyche of
sitting with.
somebody.
Yeah, we gotta get behind the curtain here.
So make sure to reach out to Collin. You can find him where one more time?
StopFlipping.com, guys. You can get a free copy of our book. We're going to put the link in the notes below. StopFlipping.com. Come check us out. We're going to teach you how to own or finance.
And thank you for watching this episode.
See y'all
Thank
next
you.
time.
A career as a businessman or woman is contingent to you becoming an expert negotiator. Negotiation is tied to profit, it's tied to deals, it's tied to speed, it's tied to being able to massively and expansively grow. I hope you guys enjoy the videos. I hope you guys enjoy the training. I hope you derive value. And if anything, I hope you decide to make a decision now to spend time and energy and money and resources into becoming expert negotiators.